Basement Bookers Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Basement Bookers Podcast. It's your boy, Basement Chair, with me as always, Rich the Riz, the world's baldest, most rizzest man, the other half of the Basement Bookers Podcast. And this is the Basement Bookers Podcast Golden Pencil Awards episode. Rich the Riz, welcome to the Basement Bookers Podcast.
Thank you, dude. We are finally here. The moment we have been waiting for all year. The entire Basement Bookiverse has been on the edge of their seats, waiting for this year's Bookie Awards, the Golden Pencils themselves. Now, we have our list here of nominees. We have our categories. We have not chosen winners yet, although, of course, we all have some winners in our hearts, but we are here to determine in front of you, the Bookiverse, our winners. Shall we get started, bruh?
That's right, Rich the Riz, you rude motherfucker. This is the Basement Bookers Podcast Golden Pencil Awards, and this is the Mike Adamley Memorial
Okay.
Mediocre Announcer Award. Um, this is a this is an exclusive, meaningful, it wasn't until later on in life that I realized that poor Mike Adamley was a victim of excessive concussions and stuff. So there's a reason for it. So all these other people in this category, I don't think they have any real excuses. So let's see what they are, Rich.
All right, so the nominees this year are Booker T, Taz,
I digress.
last year's winner Tony Schiavone, and two newcomers to this award category and any award category, Kevin Kelly.
Is it Kevin Patrick?
It's not Kevin Patrick, it's Kevin Kelly. Kevin
Okay.
Patrick did not make the cut for this award this year. And the final nominee is Ian Riccaboni.
I don't know what to do here, honestly. I think Riccaboni, he's like got his own like thing, and barely anyone watches him, to be honest. As someone that somebody barely watches, I can attest to that. So I think really it really should go to him by default. But then again, there's a lot of people in here that really like Taz. I don't think really belongs in here. I think it's intentional. You know, you know what I mean? I think
Hmm.
that's just how he is. Um, but yeah, I wish Corey Graves was on here because I'd put him here.
I
Honestly, I don't
I
like
know
him
you
really.
would. I see. I like Corey Graves. So obviously,
I guess the
on
word mediocre has a lot of connotations.
it does, indeed it does. So if your vote is Ian Riccaboni, I like him for this award. I also like. Uh,
I like Kevin Kelly for this award.
I really like Kevin Kelly for this award more than Ian. Kevin Kelly is, I believe, far, far less good than Ian Riccaboni, and Ian Riccaboni is not so great.
All
So
right. Well, I guess it's settled then.
there we go. We have our winner. Congratulations, Kevin Kelly, on winning the Mike Adamley Award for the very first time. First time
Kevin
he was
Kelly,
nominated.
you beautiful bastard. Finally, you got something from us. It's in the mail. It's just like the basement dollars, guys. Let's move on to the next contestant category, etc. And this is one that may or may not shock the world. Here comes the Shockmaster Failed Debut Repack Award. This is if people come back, and they're like, I'm a new guy now, and you're all like, yeah, but you're still the same guy, and you tripped, and that's it for you, guy, Arn Anderson. What are we thinking here, buddy?
For nominees for this year's Shockmaster Award, we have Braun Breaker and this little heel run he's doing. Carrillo and Garza, not really repackaged, but it was a return.
Well, they're wolves now, or they were attacked by wolves.
They're ripping off the American Wolves,
Did they get
which
tattoos without permission?
I
Like,
don't. It's a lot of questions, and I don't. I don't particularly care about the answers. Nikki Cross,
oh,
kind of a shocker in this category. But we can explain if we get to it. Von Wagner, unfortunate situation there. And last but not least in this category, I feel possibly the front runner here is formerly known as Jungle Boy, Jack Perry.
I don't think that failed. I don't think that was allowed. I think it died in the crib, choking on glass. I think that
Real glass.
real glass. We didn't really get, uh, what Jungle Boy is really capable of. I don't think, if I'm being honest.
Hmm.
So I don't know if it's that bad. He didn't really get a shot. The whole thing with Braun Breaker is like I would have agreed with you until he like killed Nathan Frazier on NXT this week. Like he speared him, and I think it was mostly Nathan Frazier who like his selling was incredible. Like it's like Braun Breaker had destroyed his life.
Mm.
Like he was just laying there, like he was just like impaled, and he went in there because what started it, and I'll get to it. What started it was like the backstage thing. He's talking to Axiom for whatever reason. They decided to pair these two guys together,
Mm.
and Axiom is lame. Like, I'm sorry, dude. There's like nothing there. They're really not doing anything. He's just like the cool guy in the mask who says, "Bro." Like, I'm sorry, bro. Like
It's as if he's just like a kid just hanging out there.
he's just a kid, and it could be related. But listen, and then he's like, "Yeah, sure, he's got the best spear in the business." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, so he's gonna destroy him. All right, well." And I really thought he's like, "You think you're so fast, but I'm out there with speed and intensity. You'll never match Broad Breaker, Cooker." You know, and like he thinks he's like the big bad Braun Breaker now, and like, but Undertaker said that you wasn't ready yet, so I guess I could put him up there. But Von Wagner, it's like, what'd you do really? You got hurt. You got the wrap on your head thing. I gotta say, it's gonna go for me. It's gonna be Nikki Cross.
Mm.
Because all of these people you mentioned have actual storylines. You know what I mean? Like, unless I'm mistaken, because Nikki Cross, she comes back. I remember doing the video myself,
Hmm.
and she attacks Bianca, and everybody's like, "Oh my goodness gracious!" And it just nothing. Just nothing came from it. So just staring. So I'm gonna go on that, and I'm not saying it's her fault. I'm just saying nothing happened.
Yep. Definitely a victim of a booking decision. Nikki Cross, her return, her whatever, has it's been here she is, she did that thing, and then all of a sudden she's just staring. And there's been no payoff. There's been no clue as to why she's staring, if she's thinking about attacking someone. They're not telling us anything here, leaving us hanging, leaving poor, very talented, deserving better Nikki Cross hanging. So here we go. Unfortunately, Nikki Cross wins the Shockmaster Award this year.
We people say women can't win awards. Well, guess what? You can win a Basement Booker's Golden Pencil Award.
Next up, we have the We've Seen Enough Award for things we've seen enough of. Last year's winner was Aubrey Edwards' involvement, and this year's nominees are CM Punk, period. NXT parking lot beatdowns, heels with the numbers advantage getting beaten, for instance, damage control, a lot of the year. Roxanne Perez overcoming the odds, yet again. Chris Statlander being basic, and drawn on beard lines, Braun Breaker and Lexus King. Though I'm pretty sure it's not their idea. Let's see. I feel like besides CM Punk, because that's very recent. The heels with the number advantage getting beaten has happened an awful lot. What do you think about this category?
Honestly, I'm having a lot of trouble even picking one of them. I'm gonna have to go with I don't know, Roxanne Perez.
That one has been bothering me for a long time now. All right, so Roxanne Perez wins, I think, her first Bookie Award. All right. All right, next up we have the most excellently executed year. Last year's winner was Sami Zayn. This year's nominees are, there's a bunch of them here. We'll go through them. Seth Rollins, Rhea Ripley, Gunter, Tony Storm. Taking a couple out here. Christian Cage, L.A. Knight, yeah. Damian Priest, Io Sky, MJF, and last, Adam Copeland. Let's see, all strong years, I think. Rhea Ripley had a very strong year. I think maybe Gunter's IC reign might tip the scales in his favor. What do you think?
Yeah, it's probably Gunter.
All right. Gunter, the winner. Golden pencil this year. All right, next up we have the Scott Hall You Want a War award for Ship Jumpers of the Year. Last year was Claudio going over to AEW. This year's nominees are CM Punk, Adam Copeland, and Taya Valkyrie. Now, we know Taya was previously NXT. She went to AEW. Obviously, Edge, Adam Copeland, heading over from WWE to AEW, made an immediate impact. Punk getting booted from AEW, crawling back to WWE. Which of those do you think was actually more impactful?
Jade Cargill did not wrestle a match, so she's not in here. In case
Correct.
anybody's upset for
Right.
whatever reason that's going to be.
Otherwise, she would just win.
No one here except there's only one person in here of everybody that was written in that's actually you can say is gonna have something to come of this, because last year it was Claudio, and guess what? Nothing came of it. And you'll argue like the bangers of the matches, and he was the ROH world champion. It's like, what's going on today? What's going on at the end of the year? What are
Mhm.
you doing exactly? You're Cesaro though. You're Claudio is still Cesaro.
Mhm.
You didn't do anything to change characters. You didn't do anything to, Tony Khan, the world's greatest booker. You didn't do anything here. You put him in a group. It seems to me the thing to do is put people in a group. You put Switchblade in a group, and he's just nothing now. He's just like a loser, like not like a person. I mean, like his win-loss record. In case people get mad, I'm just talking about like wins and losses. That's all,
They
and
they matter in AEW.
that's what I thought. And overall impact. So it has to be CM Punk. No
Right.
one wants to say that.
Mhm.
Nobody likes that really. But so it doesn't matter how slimy you are. You move money, and that moves mountains. So
Right. And one other thing to be said, and this is possibly a spoiler for a future award, an upcoming award. Tony Khan gets his new toys and forgets about his old toys, and then a new toy comes along and he forgets about that one. So that's why I unfortunately have to agree that is CM Punk is the ship jumper of the year.
He wrestled on both shows this
Yeah,
year, so there you go. That exact golden pencil will all be yours. It's in the
that's
mail.
right. Perhaps future winner of the which is it? The We've Seen Enough award. And isn't there an old timers award in here somewhere? I'm sure there is.
Yep.
It's the old Sting Award. But we'll get to that soon. Time for our next one. Coming up next, we have the entrance music of the year. This is always a fun one. Last year's winner was Cody Rhodes. Of course, he's got the whoa. So this year's nominees are once again Cody Rhodes,
Wrestling has more than one royal family.
That's it. Copyright. Okay.
all right, Seth freaking Rollins.
Oh.
Uh,
Mm.
Julia Hart.
Okay, they know the rest. Let's not get kicked off YouTube. Good
Yeah,
job.
that
Yeah,
song. That
that
song.
song.
CM Punk.
Like Mussolini. You know the song. We don't
Yeah,
really
you
need
do.
to.
It's a 30-year-old song now at this point. And Christian's unused
Are you going to
remix.
introduce me to your little friend, Nick Wayne? I understand that you have a father. Wardlow also had a father. Pillman, you had a father. But your father's dead. Dead, dead.
All right, we should be fine because I'm pretty sure that's public domain, the Christian
Yeah.
Cage. But like his voice, I don't know if depends on how bored Aubrey is to copyright strike.
Right. Correct. So, in my opinion here, this is going to be between mainly, I think, Cody, Julia Hart, and Christian. I really, really like Julia Hart's. Cody's is super popular.
Cody's is the best one though. So if you want to do I don't want to use that word, but we could do if he won last year, then he can get the honorable mention that is still pretty much the best song. But you
Okay.
can, if you want, you can give the golden pencil to Julia Hart because she didn't get one last year or something. I don't know.
All right. Well,
It's
the
really
Academy
our
has
shit.
spoken. The Academy has spoken. Christian's Unused remix is so good, but I feel like
It's not real.
right. It's not official. So
Yeah.
unofficially, it would be the winner, but it's got to go to Julia Hart. Heart or Heart this year.
Yeah, I wouldn't know who to send it to.
We
Since
send
it's
it.
unofficial. Oh,
Yeah, for Christians.
yeah. Would have
Ready
to
for the
give it
next
to
one?
the internet. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's get that going.
Straight on in. Our next award is the Vince McMahon Award for Return of the Year. It was previously known as the Jedi Award. We are probably going to rename it for next year. Spoiler alert. But last year's winner was the American Nightmare himself, Cody Rhodes. This year's nominees, there are kind of a lot of them. I'm going to take one out right here, in fact, and I'll leave it in. Okay. Randy Orton,
Yeah, that's a good one.
CM Punk,
Yep, that's also a good one if you want to realistically.
Kyrie Sane.
Yeah, I might not win though,
Right.
unfortunately.
Yeah. Nia Jax.
Oh, that's definitely the front runner here. This is a pro Nia Jax podcast.
That's
As
right.
it's
That's
been
right.
known.
Drew McIntyre.
Sure,
He did make a return earlier this
he
year.
did come back. Yeah,
That's right. The recently returned AJ Styles. John Cena. I couldn't see him. Chris Statlander. Miro. Roderick Strong. And Mark Briscoe.
What is this based off of? Like, what are we basing this off of? Like, what would make, like, you know what I mean? Like, what would make the return? Because, like, how are we judging it? Are we judging it like the reaction? Because if that's the case, it's CM Punk,
It
unfortunately.
can't all be Punk. So
I know I'm
reaction.
trying to like put it through just in case the comments come in. It's like, what do you mean by that? How come it's
Right.
not CM Punk? You know, it's like,
Yeah.
but we're just going by what we think, I guess, right? I don't know.
Yeah. So I figure we would base this on reaction as well as overall impact.
Okay.
So there's obviously some overlap with Chip Jumper being a return and everything. Randy Orton's return was big, had a great reaction. Did it have a tremendous impact? At least not yet.
Honestly, I feel like there should be protest because I hear your list and I think about your list,
Hmm.
and at no point on your list is probably one of the greatest returns of the year. And that also occurred at Survivor Series War Games, and that was the return of our truth.
You're right.
So I know we said that, the CM Punk thing was kind of a big deal, but I don't think anybody expected Truth to be back at Survivor Series War Games. Like nobody really.
Mm-hmm.
There was like people going like, it's, maybe CM Punk will come, maybe. There was always like, what is he going to come? Is he
Mm-hmm.
going to show up? Is this? But no one's talking about our truth. So, um,
Big surprise, great reaction.
our truth wrestled a match since his return. I don't know. He beat JD McDonough out of the Judgment Day, albeit temporarily.
That's right.
Kyrie Sane, Crown Jewel.
Mm-hmm.
We thought it was great, but like the reaction was like, okay, but it's there. So why do it there? But
Well,
okay.
yeah, I think the live crowd impacted that
Yeah.
negatively.
So I look, if I'm gonna leave it up to you, honestly. I think I said my piece, and I think any answer would be pretty good. It's enough to be nominated in
Yeah,
here.
yeah, we've gotten letters from every single nominee saying how what an honor it is to have been nominated for one of these prestigious Golden Bookies awards. Um,
Yeah, and John Cena, like, come on, like, what did he do really for John Cena? Like, he helped Solo out, but I don't think he needed to kill John Cena to look tough because, like, Theory beat him. So, what do you mean by that? You know what I mean? Like,
right. Also, they really haven't done a whole lot to capitalize on that so far.
yeah,
So, I think I think it's unfortunately only fair to I mean as great as Truth's return was, Kyrie Sane's was impacted negatively by crowd that I guess didn't know who she was. So
they
it's
probably
gotta
couldn't see. They probably thought it was like a little boy. Like, it's hard to see, depending on where you're sitting. A lot of
mhm,
those guys, they're on their phones and making trades and stocks and super carding, whatever it is that they do on their phones. So
making $1 million moves.
sure, the world moves in mysterious ways. Wrestling is
Indeed,
life. Yeah.
indeed, wrestling is life. So with that being said, yet another golden pencil straight for the eye of CM Punk. Our next award is one near and dear to my heart and such. It is Smoke Show of the Year. Last year's winner, Mandy Rose. We know what happened with that. We've seen what she's been doing. She is still doing the Lord's work. Thank you so much, Mandy, for all of your efforts. And now this year, it has to be someone new because, as we know, she is no longer within the wrestling world, at
For
least
now.
at the moment. Correct. So this year's nominees are, and by the way, if you feel just like the last one, if you feel I missed someone, please let me know. So the nominees for this year's Smoke Show of the Year are Tony Storm, the Timeless One herself, Sky Blue, Tatum Paxley, Anna Jay, Harley Cameron, Julia Hart, Cora Jade, Maxine Dupree, Gigi Dolan, Fallon Henley, and Karen herself, Chelsea Green.
I don't know, buddy. This looks like more your category. I gotta say that it's very difficult to pick here. It's not about wrestling ability. It's not about, you know, wrestling talent. Honestly, it's about being hot.
Mm-hmm.
It's the most misogynistic category in the history, but it's going to happen. And no, there isn't one for dudes. So, see, the answer to this one is difficult. I've been thinking about this long and hard. And at the end of the day, thin walls or no, you're going to hear it. And let me tell you, regardless of her current recent state of mind and transformation, there's two people in here. I could be talking about Tony Storm or I could be talking about Sky Blue. Overall, who's been doing it right, consistently up until now has been Sky Blue, and I'm gonna give it to her. I think because it was her or it was Cora Jade. Because the thing about Cora Jade is, even though she wasn't listed on returns, she's an NXT person anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she's been enhanced. I can't prove it. Something's different. But as far as I know, Sky Blue hasn't enhanced at all, from one end to the other. So we're gonna give it to her. We're gonna give her. That's what I think. But what do you think?
I'm definitely down with it. Tatum Paxley also had a recent um change in demeanor and her overall look, which I'm intrigued by. I want to see more of in 2024, but for consistency throughout 2023, yeah, Sky Blue keeping it natural too.
Yes, this is a hard category because when you're judging hotness specifically, you got to go through a lot of different things. There's a lot of social medias because you're not seeing certain things on TV.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not seeing what the, a lot of Gigi Dolan stuff is like really good, as she
Mm-hmm.
should be up there. But that's just too much smut to consume visually. I'm a married man. I can't be looking at all these things. So relax.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And everyone gets an honorable mention in this category.
That's right.
So just to be mentioned,
Mhm.
it's honorable.
Yeah, congratulations to all the women that were nominated.
Yeah, silver ones. You know.
Our next category is yet another kind of tough one. We have the Road Warrior Award for Tag Team of the Year. Last year's winner was FTR. They have technically won 3 times so far in 2016 and 2019 as the Revival, and last year, obviously, as FTR. This year's nominees are FTR, The Creeds, Brawling Brutes, Kabuki Warriors, Alpha Academy, Finn Balor and Damian Priest, Andre Chase and Duke Hudson, Imperium, Pretty Deadly, the Street Profits, and Piper and Chelsea.
How come Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens aren't on there?
No, they kind of should be on there. They just they didn't
They were the
do.
undisputed
Yeah,
Universal Champions for a little while.
they were. We can add
That's
them in.
still this year, right?
It is. I mean, at that point, we could say the Usos as well.
Yeah, we would have to, right? Like,
Hmm.
I didn't mean to broaden it. See, you guys were just putting every tag team in here, but I just think at least to not include them would just get people upset.
Fair.
Um, so
They are in the
uh,
conversation.
yeah, I don't know. This is hard. Um, I mean, the Creed brothers didn't win any gold. And I
True.
don't think this is necessarily about gold, is it? Like, what are we doing here? Like, does it, they just have to be like who's had the best year? Like, you could argue the Creed brothers in the last few months have had quite the presence on Monday Night Raw, but they only just got there and whatnot.
Hmm.
They did a lot of cool things in NXT. I don't know. I don't think they were the tag champs over there.
Nope.
They're really good.
Correct us
I
if
like.
we're wrong down comments and socials.
Yeah, we're old, and I don't
Yeah.
know. I just don't. But they like wrestling wise, they're good. They're very impressive. They got interesting moves. Their cardio's well, I don't want to say interesting moves, but I'm saying is their cardio's
Mm.
like good. How they could just go from one thing to another thing, and
Yeah.
like just strength. And they have the classic ones not so good, and the other one's really good. Type
Hmm.
of situation. Not so good. I mean like one's always a little bit better than the other one.
Yeah.
Usually, sometimes there's always somebody that stands out.
Yeah. Or
So
you could say their different styles complement each other. Where one lacks, the other picks up.
yeah, I just see like when they eventually make the mistake of separating the team. Like we don't know if that's different now because Triple H. So I think Vince is the one that breaks up tag teams, as far as I know,
Well,
right?
he broke up. Triple H broke up the Usos, so
Yeah, he did. That was him, but we don't even know if that was Triple H or Paul Heyman and Roman. I don't know, what the create who's in charge of the creative for that.
hmm.
But like I guess yeah, he'd have to okay it because that messes with toys and things like that if a team's not together.
Oh yeah, definitely affects the merch. Do they
So
do they have a blurred out Yeet shirt available, by the way? Is that what I saw him wearing?
no.
Oh,
What that is the shirt itself doesn't film very well apparently. If you're talking about that Monday Night Raw episode where the Yeet shirt was blurring, there was a
yeah.
whole X thread. They're like, "What's going on? I thought they had the rights or whatever." It's like, no, it's really nothing we could do about that. It's the way the shirt films. It's a cool shirt, but it's just a shirt.
Interesting.
Yeah, because they can do blurring and they can wear it. They can do Yeet now, so I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
they gotta tweak
Uh,
that frame rate or something.
what do you think? Like I know I gave a lot of nothing there, but it's very
Mm.
difficult to pick that. Um,
S- Yeah, so here's what I'm thinking. Like the Creeds did have a great year. They at no point were they the top tag team anywhere, but they did prove themselves to be in the conversation and will be a force next year. Okay, so that's my feeling on the Creeds. FTR, they were on top of the beginning,
what
always in the
have you done?
conversation. Right, they're always in the conversation, but like you said, what have they done? Where have they been? Do they take breaks? Maybe, I guess. Were they mourning the loss of Punk, or now they have Adam?
Is there politics involved here? Because they are friends with Phil.
Hmm. So that's sort of back of the mind there. Kabuki Warriors only just reformed. They will be impactful in 2024, I'm sure. Alpha Academy, they've had a lot of fun this whole year. They've been sort of a mainstay on WWE TV for their comedic routines and this really long feud with the Viking Raiders.
Which is over due to injury. So
Right. But like one of them's Ivar is still fighting. Whatever. Moving on. Finn and Priest, undisputed tag champs.
Yep, that's something.
They are the longest reigning tag champs on this list, in fact, currently.
Well, because you did right at the Usos.
So longest reigning tag champs during this year period.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay. Andre and Duke had the belts for a while.
Yeah, but yeah,
yeah,
it's
right. There's
something about money. I don't know.
medium-sized fish in a small pond, kind of thing. Kaiser and Vinci. They're
We don't have a coat
Gunther's.
catching category here, and it would only be one person who gets that in the group.
Yeah, right. But like they've had some good segments as far as win-loss record, mid, pretty deadly. There was an injury, came back. I mean, what a miraculous recovery, right? The fact that he's out of his wheelchair from that shoulder injury is incredible.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Well, like, what do you think now? You think Creed Brothers or Alpha Academy? Is that what you're doing?
No, I mean, there's still more on the list. Piper and Chelsea,
No.
former women's tag champs. You're right. You're
Yeah, yeah.
right. Held them for a while, didn't defend them a lot. Sammy and KO, to your point, winning the titles from the most dominant tag team, arguably ever, in the main event of WrestleMania,
Yeah.
or the Usos, who were the most dominant tag team, arguably ever. Now, I think for me, looking at this long list, and it's kind of one of those. It's one of those lists of they were all hit or miss, right? Because everyone, I mean, if anything, the Creeds and Alpha Academy are the most consistently doing stuff. Same with Kaiser and Vinci. But
Mm.
Sammy and Kevin Owens and the Usos and FTR, at least were on top for a bit. I feel like even AEW doesn't do tag teams well anymore.
Yeah, it's a lost art for there. I don't know if that they don't know how to do it. It's the booking of the teams that they don't really know how to do. And that's pretty much, well, at least what we watch anyway.
Yeah. All right. So I think I have a decision here.
Okay, well, then your decision's final.
Cool. Based on the impact of the moment, the Tag Team of the Year award, I feel, has to go to Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens for
Oh,
their tag title win at WrestleMania, which ultimately did lead to a big rift in the bloodline and the breakup of the most dominant tag team so far. So, yeah, Sami and KO, congratulations.
all right, perfect. They weren't even on the list. Look at that. Amazing. Congratulations, you guys.
You see what happens when my brain. All right. Next is the Freebird Award for Faction of the Year. Last year's winner, deservedly so, was the Bloodline. Did they take that momentum into 2023? They are our lead nominee alongside the House of Black, Damage Control, Bullet Club Gold, the Blackpool Combat Club, the Patriarchy, the Judgment Day, and Metaphor. What do you think? What are you thinking here?
It's Judgment Day or Bloodline, honestly. Like, it's not even really close, I don't think. If you want to look at impact on the business. Bloodline kind of implodes later, mid-year. I think around SummerSlam, right? So before then, they're running hot, so, Cody, lost, I'm gonna have to go with Bloodline. Like Judgment Day's really close because Priest has the briefcase, but like the year's gonna end without him cashing in the briefcase anyway. They've been tag team champions. Rhea Ripley counts in there. She's the women's champion. dumb. Like what measures it? Is it gold? Like they don't have all the gold. Like the tribal chief has the gold that matters.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going with that as a bias, really. Like it's 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 close between Judgment Day and Bloodline, but I'm a Bloodline guy, so I'm just gonna go with that.
Well, given my current residential status, I might have to exhibit a little bit of bias myself. Let's go Bloodline. 2 in a row. Congratulations, Judgment Day. You coming in hot on 2024. Let's see what you do with it.
Yeah, let's not break up over some dumb shit.
Our next award has a rather dubious history. It is the Barber Shop Award for the heel turn of the year. Last year, the slightly surprising winner was Cora Jade. This year, we have the recently turned AJ Styles, Sky Blue, Drew McIntyre, Asuka, Santos Escobar, and a surprising favorite of mine, Roderick Strong himself.
This is hard because Drew's not a heel. He
Right.
doesn't think he's a heel.
Right?
He doesn't say he's a heel. He's
Mm-hmm.
just Drew McIntyre doing Drew McIntyre shit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's a little upsetting what he did to Sammy, but I don't think it's enough to get him this one. Maybe he's just some more evil shit.
Mm-hmm.
Who else was it?
AJ Styles.
Okay, AJ was just now,
Right.
and all he did was kick LA Knight in the face. Like he beat up LA Knight. You know
One of
what
the
I
hottest
mean?
faces.
He is. But it's not like they was friends before or some shit. Like it's a shock that he's gonna attack his ass.
True.
You know?
And there is still a question of does this go back to Impact?
Or is it just against LA Knight? Like I don't
Yeah.
there's other people. Like he's reacting like negatively towards his the club, but they suck. I'd also react negatively to them because they suck. They can't fucking help me. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's a reason I was out because they suck.
Right.
Like, and with me, Chen, it's like, yeah, you're even more useless. Like, do you see what Rhea Ripley does? Why can't you do that?
Mm-hmm.
So, if anything, he's justified.
So let's look at the last 3 on this list in reverse order. Roddy Strong.
I don't remember him being a face in AEW.
He was a face at the start of the year before the neck injury.
Then he should be the winner. Then, I guess, because I don't. No one's else here is interesting.
Santos Escobar.
So I was listening to this podcast, and it's a wrestling podcast. And one of the guys was talking about how like Rey Mysterio is always bringing these like dogs home from like the street and stuff like that, and eventually
Mm-hmm.
they fucking bite him.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't. I just saw that as I'm waiting. I'm looking at my watch and I'm waiting for him to turn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the whole time. As a matter of fact, as soon as he came up there as a face, I'm like, all right, so how long till the heel turn? That's not like that didn't come out of nowhere for me. Like as soon as Rey Mysterio gloms onto somebody and realizes that he's trying to fucking take their shit from them, like the United States Championship, it's a foregone conclusion. And what the hell has he done? Pair himself with Hamburger Carrillo? At least Roderick Strong. Did you watch World's End?
Not yet.
Oh, well, it's out there, buddy.
I mean, go ahead. I'll
All
see
right.
it.
Well, we all are now know the identity of the mid-card mafia. And the identity of the mid-card mafia. Are you ready for the identity of the mid-card mafia?
Yes, was I
Right
right?
here on the bookies. Everyone was right. The devil was Adam Cole.
Baby.
Just like I
Nice.
fucking said. Also among the devil's rejects, Wardlow. So I was right.
Yeah, point him out in the old videos. Let me see Wardlow.
Okay. So again, I told you
You
on
did.
an episode of AEW Dynamite,
Hmm.
Wardlow was on the episode twice. Once you didn't see his face, the shoes, same
Hmm.
shoes as Wardlow.
Hmm.
Okay. And it's the Kingdom is the tag rejects,
Hmm.
and Roderick Strong is also in there. But the leader, and still injured because, he's sitting on a chair, Adam Cole. And I don't think anybody was really all that surprised by that, nor should they be disappointed, which kind of makes it the best move, honestly.
Hmm. So
I
that
mean,
that is a strong case for.
technically,
Hmm.
this is a heel turn. Are we doing an Adam Cole write in, or does Roderick Strong get it? Because he's already in here. Like, we've put people in before. But, like, even if we think it, like, I know I said, like, oh, I said Tulsi was going to always be the guy. But there
Hmm.
was a chance that the devil wasn't Adam Cole.
Right.
Even though I've pointed out the fact that the mask was in that locker room
Hmm.
and Cole was right in front of it, was on his side. So I did bring that up. Uh, Basement Bookers listeners know. So it could be, we could have an issue here
So Cole, I would say
because he was
now
a
with the
face.
with this new knowledge, Adam Cole could certainly be a right, and I think I'd put him above Roddy. So then it becomes, so I agree with the Santos thing. I was also waiting for the shoe to drop. So it's a matter of Adam Cole or Asuka.
I'm gonna go with Adam Cole. Oscar's turned heel before. So's Cole, but this is, if you go out of, regardless of how you feel about the vignettes and the people involved,
Hmm.
this is a really fucked up thing to do to a person that you call your friend. Like, he befriended him and did all this shit to him.
He taught MJF that he could be a friend and trust someone.
Exactly. And he made him do things that he wouldn't do,
Hmm.
take stupid matchups, and had him weathered down, just like in Nightfall, where, Batman's going from crime to crime to crime. When it was time to break the bat, he was tired enough for Bane to take care of him. So this is really calculated, and I think it should be Adam Cole, even
There you
if it
go.
is the mid card mafia, as they're being coined. So
Well, there you have it. The write-in, the last minute entry. Adam Cole, baby, wins. Heel turn of the year.
yeah, no more cringe Adam Cole, please.
Thank you.
This next category is a category that was worked on very hard. This specific one. This is the face turn of the year in honor of the world's greatest face. I thought the face turn of the year award should have the face of John Cena. So here is the nominees for face turn of the year.
All right. Tony Storm, MJF, and Jay Uso.
Tony Storm's a face?
Is she a heel?
I don't know what she is. Does she
Okay.
cheat?
I don't think so. She is comedic.
That's why it's difficult. Like, I'm trying to figure out, does Luther help her at all?
So even
This is what
if
happens when we don't watch things.
Right. So even if timeless Tony Storm isn't a face, she did turn face when leaving the Outcasts.
Did she turn face or did they turn face?
They certainly didn't turn face.
Hmm.
Maybe they went super heel.
Yeah, this is confusing.
I
The
had to include
MJF
a,
one is disconcerting.
Yeah, so I basically had to include Tony Storm in there. I couldn't have just two nominees. So it's really between MJF and Jey Uso, to be fair.
I think Jey Uso. I think Jey Uso because like of like just visceral reaction to it. It's like, oh my God, he's back, he's good, he's doing it.
Hmm.
He's breaking free. He's his own man now.
Hmm.
And MJF is like he's still a scumbag though. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Hmm.
So like Jay is not or never was, but he's a good guy.
Yeah, Jey Uso's story, the en- the entire Bloodline story, yes. But if you follow just the Jey Uso thread, it is so goddamn well written and so well performed, so well executed. You get a pair of twins, right? You never expect them to break up. You
Mm,
you think even Vince won't break them up. But injuries happen, maybe a couple of someone's D'ing while that kind of thing. And someone has to go away for a while. So one obviously has to continue what's going on. And that was sort of the spawn of this Jey Uso storyline. And this past year, his departure, his explosive departure from the bloodline and from his brothers really, but of course we think Jimmy more than Solo.
right.
It can't not be Jay winning this. This has been the one of the most compelling stories in wrestling, and he is living up to the moniker. Let's hope it continues in 2024 and he's not overshadowed of main event Jay Uso. It's got to be Jay.
All right, great. Congratulations to Jimmy J J Jimmy Jimmy J J J Uso.
Yeet.
Ye no ye. This next category is important. It's one of the main reasons a lot of people like pro wrestling is the trash talking, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's deep. Here's the nominees for most electrifying microquick of the year.
CM Punk, MJF, Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes, L.A. Knight, yeah, John Cena, the patriarch of the patriarchy himself, Christian Cage, Roderick Strong, and Dominic Mysterio.
Is Dominic Mysterio a joke?
No,
You think he's good on the mic? You can
he
barely
gets
hear him.
what?
Exactly. Like you can't even hear him.
He grabs a mic. That crowd is invested. That crowd is all over him.
Hmm.
It is
Uh,
electric.
that's true. That's true. It's very difficult to. No, it's easy for me to say fuck that guy, and I'm not saying I disagree with why he's there. I
Mhm.
agree. But I think this year, I don't think CM Punk should get it because
Agreed.
I'm not a fan of that type of like right now. Maybe at this stage of my life, I'm like I'm tired of people like that. Like CM Punk just exhausts me. Like I
One
said,
gripe bomb was enough.
yeah, he like so far his like WWE stuff's been kind of it's so like I love you guys. I'm just waiting for like that to be his heel like catchphrase later on in the eventual heel turn. And MJF, it's always been kind of like, he's MJF and all over the place, he's like he's your scumbag, there's a lot of passion and he's this and he's like, he's very caring and people pay attention when he talks on the mic and all that stuff. I'm surprised the Bum King isn't on your little mic work list there, buddy.
Mm,
Um,
there is something to be said about kind of saying the same stuff every time.
John Cena, he's the GOAT.
Hmm.
Everything he says, has been great. So, everyone listens to John Cena. Uh, The Rock, I mean, LA Knight.
Yeah.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, I mean, LA Knight. You can
What?
argue. I'm going to say Cody because Cody's had like a lot of things he says, and everybody's always paying attention. His segments are always like usually high draw segments. What do you want to talk about? And then, he does little cadence and all that stuff and this and that. But then again, what if it's Christian Cage? You know what? I'm going to go with Christian Cage because I like
Ooh.
Christian Cage. And he's talking about, what everybody wants to talk about, and that's dead fathers. Like recently, it's not his fault. The one where he was with Nick Wayne's mom and she was doing her talking. That's not his fault.
Right.
But he's fun. He's just a fun character. MJF, it's like you've seen it before. You know MJF, you know what he's doing. But
Hmm.
heel Christian Cage reminds me of like suit Chris Jericho, and like Christian Cage puts his own Christianity on it. If that
Hmm.
makes any sense. So
I feel like if there weren't a stigma about using the term Christianity to refer to not the religion,
yeah,
then I think he'd be all over that.
yeah, he would be.
He'd be the patriarch of Christianity,
Yeah, baptize you into Christianity.
and that would be dope. But he has been the most consistent throughout the year. Cena wasn't around the whole time. Knight had a flub or two. It happens. It's fine. Not going to fault him. He was nominated. He already wrote us thanking us for his nomination. This time around, it goes to yes, I'm giving it to him. Christian Cage.
And it's like this.
I'm glad that's gone. All right, our next award has some history behind it. It is the Blue Chipper Award for Debut of the Year. The previous winner in 2019 was a favorite of Basement Jared. That is Kelly Ray, now known as Alba Fire. So, this year's nominees are, and they all have previous experience, by the way, except for one. We'll get to this. Nick Wayne
Boo.
of the Patriarchy himself, Billy Starks, and Lola Vice. Lola Vice is the only one that came into this year without any real prior wrestling experience, but she does have a 4-1 record in Bellator.
Hmm.
The only loss came by decision, by the way. So this is an interesting little field here. Not a lot of names here, but all of them looking to really um, pave their path through this wacky business we call pro wrestling. My vote here, I think I will say it's tough. Like Nick Wayne has a pedigree. We all know his late father.
Lola Vice, winning the Breakout Ladies tournament, and Nick Wayne, all he really did was get beat up. So, I don't know.
Yeah, like I feel like Billy Starks is sort of the um what do they call it? The heartfelt favorite kind of thing.
Yeah, I apologize. I have not seen a single match of hers.
That's okay.
All righty. All right.
We know you don't necessarily subscribe to ROH, but
I thought you were going to say women's wrestling, and I was going to say, how dare you?
now why would I do that? It's
It
silly.
wouldn't be true.
That's right. I know that. I wouldn't make that claim. Ring of Honor.
Okay.
You don't really. I mean, I don't watch Ring of Honor either, but I've been paying attention. to what's going on. She broke out of being a minion for Athena. She had a match against Athena for the ROH Women's Title. It was she did verbally submit to, I don't know what Athena calls the move, but it's like a modified Rings of Saturn, which looks absolutely dope. But then they made up, they hugged and made up afterwards. So we'll see where that storyline takes us. So Billy Starks, like I said, does have a couple years of experience. She's been doing this for 5 years, and she's only like 19. So
Wow,
she has
yeah.
yeah, she has a very bright future. As does Lola Vice. Nick Wayne could maybe use. I mean, if Dusty was still around, he should take him under. He'd take him under his wing. I'm sure. Maybe learn some of those mic skills. But I think based on where they are currently and where they can go from here, it's really tough. I'm gonna go with Lola Vice.
Okay, great. That's what I also said. So
Yeah.
good. Great. Let's do it. The Ric Flair Dusty Rhodes Award for Feud of the Year. The nominees are
Sliding straight in like into your DMs. Last year's winner was Cody versus Seth for Feud of the Year. This year's nominees are Cody and Crew versus the Bloodline, Bianca and Crew versus Damage Control, Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura, Asuka versus Bianca Belair, Ilya Dragunov versus Trick Mellow Game, Vince McMahon versus his legal department, Shotzi versus Damage Control, Christian Cage versus Dead Dads. That would tie into Christian Cage versus Adam Copeland, CM Punk versus his own success, Miro versus his god, MJF versus your boy, Basement Jared, Jay White, and I'm trying to remember what TF is. Oh, Top Flight versus Injuries. I
this
should
is
stop abbreviating.
quite the field you've come up with here.
hmm Obviously, a couple of these Top Flight versus Injuries. We can, nah.
I mean, that's just bad luck.
It is. Like, that's a feud we don't want to see.
Yeah. Gosh.
Could also make the case for Pac versus Injuries.
Yeah, I mean, you could make the case for Tony Khan versus his phone. Like I don't know. There's a lot of things here.
hmm
I would say a lot of these are still ongoing.
Right.
So that would mean these feuds can span years. Some might say.
hmm
Um, generational wars. You know,
hmm
100 years wars to be precise, and that's got nothing to do with really what I'm saying here. Really, what I think here, the feud of the year should be, I guess, it would be the Cody thing because it really encompasses a lot of different um, matchups in there. I think Seth and this guy and Sammy and that guy, you know who I mean. Like a
Yeah.
lot of people don't like the Judgment Day. They made a lot of enemies. And I know the bloodline was active this year too, but not so much, towards, but hey, yeah. What do you
So
mean?
we write in Cody and Crew versus Judgment Day,
Well, whatever it is feud you had there. Oh, that was against Bloodline. Yeah,
right?
I don't know. But I don't know if they won that though. Did they win that? Who won that feud then?
I think the Bloodline won that feud because Bloodline's still around.
Roman's still the champion.
That's right.
All right, fine. Put that one.
All right. So Cody has won the last 3 of these awards. It was last year was Cody versus Seth, And the last time we did the bookies before that, 2019, it was Cody versus Jericho.
Well, what are we supposed to do here? Lie?
No,
We're gonna have to give it
no,
up.
yeah, good. I mean, Cody's a good feuder, so congrats, Cody.
All right.
Next up is a big one. This is the Savage versus Steamboat Award for match of the year. A lot of controversy around naming a match of the year. I feel like we almost can't pick one without being wrong, without being told that we're wrong. That's the nature of the IWC. As I like to say, no one hates wrestling more than wrestling fans. That being said, before the nominees, last year's winner was Gunter versus Sheamus. So, this year's nominees are Gunter versus Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus for the IC title at WrestleMania. Brander Dander versus MJF for the AEW Championship at Revolution. Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair for the Women's Championship at WrestleMania. Brander Dander versus Zack Sabre Jr. at WrestleDream, which I called as a match of the year candidate before it happened. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos for the tag titles at WrestleMania. And one that surprised me a little bit, but didn't surprise most of the rest of the IWC that follows these two, Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay at Forbidden Door.
Interesting.
Strong candidates, strong field here. What are you feeling here, bro?
Um, I feel like it's a little misogynist, this list. I feel like you're leaving out women. I feel like Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley's match at WrestleMania could go here.
It was there.
Um,
It's on the
but
list.
first, it should be first, ladies first, honestly. I mean, Cody and Roman had a match this year, and that was pretty important. Um, but the right guy, we don't know if he won or not. I know that sometimes you can't say these things.
Mm.
I really like the triple threat match at WrestleMania. I don't think MJF's that good of a wrestler. The Zack Sabre Jr. When I say that, I mean like moves and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like Danielson was good, but it's like I don't know. This one's hard because I'm not the best at wrestling
Mm-hmm.
matches. Like the matches, I like a lot of good like spots and things, and I do enjoy a good slobber knocker. But AEW, at the end of the day, I can't really. This is a hard one, and you already want it to be Zack Sabre Jr. versus Bryan Danielson, so we could just give it to them, to make it neutral here. So you go ahead.
This is the first time an AEW match has won match of the year.
Well,
Bryan Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr. at WrestleDream.
they have enough star ratings to keep them afloat, so I don't think they'll be butthurt over this one.
All right. What's Meltzer with stars for AEW? Like us with the Booker Bucks, the Basement Bucks. What are they?
They're basement dollars. You don't
Basement
even
dollars. I'm
know.
sorry.
Like they could be that if you want like that. I think the Booker Bucks is what the Young Bucks are gonna call their new finishing move.
Oh, okay. Once they steal it
Once
from us.
once they ditch the Meltzer driver for something that actually works.
Yeah, maybe a super pile driver should just finish the match like right then and there. Just saying.
Yeah, a basement buck lariat is when you throw a brick at someone.
I figured a basement buck lariat would be when you clothesline their ankles.
I'll keep that under advisement. but I really think a brick should be involved in the maneuver.
Our brick should be involved in everything. Next up is the Shinsuke Nakamura No Speak the English Award. Those were his words. We're not doing anything like that.
Sorry, no speak English.
For most underutilized or improperly utilized Superstar of the Year. Last year's award winner was deservedly so Jonathan Gresham. Damn it, Tony Khan. This year's nominees are Serena Deeb, Tony Nese, Keith Lee, All Ego Ethan Page, Ricky Starks, Andrade El Idolo, Zion Quinn, Indus Sher, Karrion Kross, Ricochet, Nick Aldis, the tag team of Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, Gigi Dolan, and Carlito. Big field. What are you thinking, bro?
I don't think Nick Aldis is underutilized.
I think he's being improperly utilized. He should be in the ring.
I don't know if he's necessarily excluded from the ring that we know of. And currently his role being adversarial to the tribal chief is kind of a big deal. Like he's not scared of him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's being okay, so I get why you have him there. I can't convince you not to have him there. So,
but we don't have to vote for him. So
I
if
know
he's
that.
there. It's discussed.
I just an interesting take.
Yeah.
Both
takes are valid. I do see your point, and I acknowledge your point.
I think that Ricochet is exactly where he needs to be.
Could you tell me where that is right now?
Well, it's the mid card. It's sometimes in a match with Bronson Reed. Sometimes he's in a match with somebody else in Bronson Reed. Sometimes he's in a match. Sometimes he's not in a match. Sometimes he's talking to CM Punk backstage. Sometimes he's maybe he's having a hamburger. I don't know if they give you food in catering anymore. He's a guy.
I feel like they can't call it catering if there's no food.
Honestly, if you're on TV, you're being utilized better than I am. So I don't know what else to tell you. You're on television.
That being said, then our nominees
Karrion Kross, which officially hasn't done anything all year. Officially. And I'm not counting vignettes with AOP, okay? I'm not counting clever little retcons. I'm not counting there's a parade going around in the city. He picks up a little baton and just walks out in front of it. All these guys are heels because they got in the ring with me. All these guys are heels because they won feuds against me. Sure. Yeah, remember, Roman, I put the clock on the ring. That wasn't me. It was the bloodline itself. That was the expiration date, and I knew it was coming, Karrion Kross. So I guess maybe him.
Wow.
Because, look, Keith Lee wrestled matches.
Yeah.
You may not agree with who he's wrestling with or who he's tagging with or what feud is stale bread
or which wizard he's going to be.
Or at the last minute, he wasn't wrestling Swerve Strickland at World's End. He was replaced with Dustin. And that occurred before the show, so it's not a spoiler for you. But, at least Keith Lee got to wrestle. So, and Karrion Kross did wrestle. He did. And you know what? I apologize if there's one guy out there going, he probably wrestled more than Keith Lee. I don't remember any of it. I can tell you about some stuff that Keith Lee did. But for Kross, I mean, mishandled. He's
Hmm.
just mishandled.
Keith Lee kind of had that feud with Shane Taylor
Right,
on
right,
and off. They
right.
probably did stuff on Ring of Honor that we didn't see.
Exactly. You're right. But it's nothing that if I can't see it, this is a Basement Booker's Golden Pencil Award. Okay.
That's right. The only thing we acknowledge that we can't see is John Cena.
That's right. So we good on that? We good? You think so? It's cross, or you just don't agree?
So if we're talking about getting TV time and not and
Well, I was
and
just
getting
using it as
matches,
one of my metrics.
then there's Serena Deeb and Zion Quinn and Indus Sher.
Yeah, but if you look at what they're capable of doing, we've seen what Karrion Cross can do. He's been NXT champion. He's
Mm-hmm.
got the entrance. He's got the girl. He's got all the presentation, all these things.
Mm-hmm.
And fuck all. I like Serena Deeb too. She's a great hand. She's
Mm-hmm.
great in the ring. I don't know a lot of people better than her in AEW. But
Agreed. I was waving that flag like when she was doing her professor gimmick. Yes,
yeah,
yes. All like I said, she's the best women's wrestler on their roster, and I still think that's the case.
yeah, but dude, listen, the last time I saw her was on an episode of Heels. Okay? It's a TV show about wrestling, and it's not
You watch that?
AEW.
Oh, heels. I was thinking the AEW heels.
No, Heels.
The
Heels.
yeah
Heels on
yeah yeah.
Stars. It used to be on
Okay.
Stars. It's
No,
canceled.
you're right.
They don't like money over there. So, you know what I mean? So I don't know if it's exactly mishandled or not handled at all.
Hmm.
I would say she hasn't been handled.
Well, that
You
sounds like
got
a
to get
personal issue.
handled to get mishandled. You feel me, player?
I I
All right.
I hear you, and that sounds like a whole personal issue with Serena Deeb there. But I'm down with it. Karrion Cross, winner of the most underutilized or improperly utilized superstar of the year. Hoping you have a better 2024 than you did 2023. And please don't set down a whatchamacallit, an hourglass near me.
Please, I don't want. I can't live like that.
Don't cancel the bookers. It's an honor. All right, our next award is the David Arquette Award for the most undeserving champion. Last year's winner was controversial, but strong feelings from Jer on this was Orange Cassidy with the International Championship. This year's nominees are Casey and KC for the WWE Women's Tag Titles, Ricky Starks and Big Bill for the AEW Tag Titles, and Chase University for the NXT tag titles. A lot of tag stuff here this year.
Yeah,
Do
I
you have a
mean,
write-in, or do you have any strong feelings about any of these?
I got to write in.
Okay.
It's a little controversial. I'm almost afraid to say it.
Hmm.
Um, Eddie Kingston.
I knew it. Hmm.
Yeah,
Which title?
all of them.
So
Like
that's
you're telling me those guys couldn't beat Eddie Kingston? Brian Danielson can't beat Eddie Kingston? I'm kidding. Eddie Kingston deserves all the championships that he got. Before there's no spoilers for Saturday here, so even
I mean there was one person who opined that Eddie Kingston is better than Seth Rollins in every way. That is an opinion
that it's an incorrect
by a
opinion, but it
person.
doesn't mean that he's undeserving. So I apologize. It's just a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke.
So
Partner.
I feel like it's important for this award. Is Eddie Kingston the current AEW Triple Crown champion, the Continental champion, ROH World champion, and New Japan Strong champion?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Tony Khan is clearly behind Eddie Kingston. He measured him for that rocket.
I
I don't
mean,
know where the rocket's going, but he measured him
let
for it.
me let me see if I could break this down for you.
Okay.
I think CM Punk. I think Eddie Kingston is realer than CM Punk. I don't know if it was for law speak or to get your things done or get things proper, but Tony Khan said CM Punk had him fearing for his life. So you're telling me he's not afraid of Eddie Kingston? I'm afraid of Eddie Kingston. So I think he might be shook. He's like, I can't tell this guy he's not going over,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And he's loyal and all this and ba 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 ba. He's friends with Moxley. Moxley's got a lot of pull in AEW. It was most likely also his decision.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, he like some people, miracles happen, and that's great.
Mm-hmm.
I'd just be a hater if I wasn't like, that'd be great, but I didn't work nearly as hard. So, he did what he if listen, there's something to be said. People that are like, oh, he's a bum, he looks this, he looks that. He got himself with help or whatever, he got himself to where he is in his life. And that's a lot more than a lot of other people can say, myself included. So, at least professionally.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't think he belongs there.
To your point, well documented on the last episode of this podcast. I'm an Eddie Kingston fan. I like Eddie Kingston a lot. I respect him. I respect his ability, his in-ring work, his mic work. I question how a promoter can give him a more memorable and more significant world championship reign than Claudio Castagnoli.
Well, the thing is that Eddie Kingston has something that Claudio does not have.
Please tell me what that is before I say something rude. Much as I love Eddie Kingston
I
and respect and
just
fear him.
listen, as much as I always say, I'm one of those people that are like not like I don't act like a mark. I don't get super hyped when Eddie Kingston says certain things or does certain things.
Hmm.
I've
Yeah,
known
partner.
I've known people like that my whole life. That's nothing new to me. It
Hmm.
does not it's like this is just it's another day growing up in Brooklyn, bro. Like
20 years ago, they were hanging out outside the OTB. Now they're hanging outside the grocery store with doing the scratch offs in between quick draws.
let me tell you something. All right. So
Partner.
that's all. But he's still like got more flavor than Claudio does. And I
That's
don't know if
true.
that's true. Okay, so it's true, but like
Hmm.
all I know is what I see on television.
Hmm.
All I know is what I hear on television and around television. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? And Claudio's got everything I don't. Okay, if you want to crap on me, I don't care.
Hmm.
I'm comparing wrestlers. Okay, I'm not a wrestler. Claudio has all the tools, the physical gifts. I don't know what's missing, but say what you want about Eddie Kingston, he's still a character.
Hmm.
Even if those characters, I've known these characters, he's still a character.
Hmm.
So regardless of how you feel about that character, even if his character is just him, that's just still what it is. It still resonates with some people.
And you
It
know
still
what?
resonates. Yeah.
You now have a Golden Pencil Award winner that looks like you.
Thank God. Finally. You know. But yeah. And also I'd say he's in better shape. Like he's in ring shape.
Yeah,
So
like looks aside, you got to presume he probably has better cardio than you.
I hope so. I hope so, Eddie Kingston, or you're in a lot of trouble.
For his
You-
opponent's sake.
Yeah. Oof. All right.
Badna.
So this next category, this is the authority figure of the year, and I thought, what better person to represent the authority figure of the year but John Cena, because John Cena said that he works for the WWE universe, that he listens to the people. And that's an authority figure I can get behind. So that's why John Cena is the poster boy for Base Booker's authority figure of the year. And the nominees are
We have 2 nominees this year. They are Nick Aldis and HBK.
well, Rich the Riz, this is hard, isn't it? Two
I don't think so, actually.
Well,
Uh,
HBK's been doing it a lot longer.
He has, but I feel like, at least in the on-screen presence, Nick Aldis has certainly been more impactful in a much shorter period of time than HBK has been.
Yeah, Pierce didn't even get nominated.
Well, spoiler alert. So we have our winner for the John Cena Award now for Best Authority Figure of the Year. So let's transition directly into the Vicky Guerrero Award for Worst Authority Figure of the Year. Once again, 2 nominees. They are the aforementioned Adam Pearce and Tony Khan.
I mean, Tony Khan would win this, but he's not an on-screen authority figure, is he? He does make those announcements, right? Like he's technically on screen.
Yeah, he
He's their
does come on the
guy.
screen, and before shows he comes out sometimes too. So like if you're live in attendance, he'll tell you that CM Punk walked out or this, that, the other, yada yada, whatever the case may be.
It's got to
Pierce,
be him, though.
so as ineffective as Adam Pierce is on screen, I feel like Tony Khan is at best ineffective, if not detrimental, in many cases off screen.
I was gonna say, Pierce's social media posts are positive, and
It is
like,
official.
yeah, and he just, his surprises are actually pretty decent, and he's not going around saying like they're huge announcements when they're really not.
He doesn't announce an announcement
Right.
for an announcement. Killing me.
Exactly. Yeah, you know,
Damn it, Tony Khan, you're a meme.
you're a meme boy. But hey, maybe that'll help you.
You're a meme one, Mr. Khan. Sorry. All right. The next award is the Deletion of the Year. Last year's winner was CM Punk. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I only have one nominee for this. Do you have a nominee other than CM Punk?
No, not really.
Congratulations, CM Punk. You took a stand backstage, you threw some monitors, you deleted yourself from AEW. Thanks for coming back, by the way.
Should have never signed with them in the first place.
Fool me once, I don't know, whatever. Our next award is the Lake of Reincarnation Dip of the Year. This is a repackage award. Last year's winner was Bray Wyatt for his return in his sort of pre Uncle Howdy role and all of that. That was interesting. Rest in peace, Bray Wyatt. This year's nominees are Timeless, Tony Storm, Julia Hart, Sky Blue, Tatum Paxley, Roddy, Chris Statlander, Main Event Jey Uso, Kyrie Sane, and scripts. What are your thoughts?
Fuck off with scripts, man.
He
I think it
lost the
should be
mask.
Tony Storm.
Tony Storm?
Yeah, he gained the mask, lost the mask, he's out the mud.
What a stupid name for a tag team.
It's a little interesting in a way, but like I don't think you could have came up with something a little bit less weird. I don't know. I guess it means something, you know. I don't know.
If it's
Their
some
writers
slang,
team probably looks like the cast of Modern Family, but just like the boring characters. I don't watch the show, but I'm doing this for yours to like a metaphor.
I get you. I will say that's actually a great show. But
Okay.
but
I would just skip
I'm
all the
picking up what you
parts
put.
that's not
Yeah,
the hot Spanish lady. I would just watch
Sofia
her.
Vergara.
Yeah.
So I'm picking up what you're putting down for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. Um, but yeah, I mean, there have been a number of good repackagings this year. Tony Storm, certainly the most entertaining of all of them. Chin up, tits out, and watch for the shoe.
Yeah, I wonder how she came up with that. We'll never know.
I wonder if someone told her that one day, except for the watch for the shoe part. Our next award is an oldie but goodie. It is the Roger Murtaugh, I'm too old for this shit, award. Last year's winner was Sting. This year's nominees are Sting, Christian Cage, mainstay as a nominee in this category, Adam Copeland, Paul White, CM Punk, and that deadbeat dad himself, Rey Mysterio. Do you have any other nominees you want to toss in here, or shall we get straight to it?
What's the requirement that you're like 50?
Yeah.
Jesus
Notably
Christ.
absent from this is R-Truth because he has not missed a goddamn step.
How dare you put Christian Cage in this category? How dare you put the patriarch in there just because he's 50?
Just saying.
Uh,
He might be getting. He hasn't lost a step. I will say that. So he's not going to win.
I still think it's Sting. He's the oldest, isn't he?
He is the oldest, but Paul White.
All right. Yeah,
Listen,
fine.
you
He
you
couldn't
know
even
I
stand.
you know I always want to give this a Sting. Like Mark Henry's not even in here because he hasn't had a match. Paul White actually participated in a match, got dropped. I would say, it definitely dropped. Emphasis on dropped onto a car and slid off of the hood of the car onto the pavement.
Oh,
Like
that's all right. That's not funny.
Hobbs, you're strong. We get it. Be more careful with your elders.
Yeah, well, yeah, Big Show can barely move. So Paul White, sorry, he can barely move. It looks like maybe you shouldn't. I get it. You're trying to help out. You're a good guy. You're a nice guy. You got a family to feed. You're on
Mhm.
television. It's got to be hard to like scratch the itch.
Yeah, and you know what? We already know that Sting. He's like, okay, I'm going like this. I'm ready to hang up the cap.
Yeah, he's
He
on
told
his
us.
way. He's
Mhm.
unless he's lying and he turns heel and says, I ain't leaving."
Don't do that to me.
I know, but it's a possibility, right?
It's a possibility. So, I mean, with the one match he had that he shouldn't have, is it Paul White?
I think so. He's too old for this shit.
He's too old for this shit.
Not even that he's too old. Like physically, it might not be the best thing for him.
Yeah, like he had some surgeries. He's gotten himself in better shape. However,
I just
don't
don't want you to die or get crippled. I don't
yeah,
know.
don't
I'm
agree to
sorry.
onto a car and then slide off onto the frick. Did you think you'd stop on the hood, which is sloped?
They should have did a pre-tape, like
Did
for
he
that just that bit. Like you don't. It doesn't have to be that happening right there. And they did camera trickery. If you want
maybe
to
that
throw him off a thing,
yeah.
Like have him
They could have.
land on one of those, like, like the kids play in the foam blocks or whatever, like a thing like that, like a little Chuck E. Cheese pit.
Like Kurt Angle getting chucked off that balcony.
Yeah, exactly like that. Exactly like that. It would be a good turn. Like, didn't Big Show do that to him before?
Probably.
Yeah, that's why he was like GM Kurt or whatever.
Show should know better,
Yeah, he should know better. I mean, he's trying to get his house back from Stephanie still. What do you want from him?
right? I mean, Paul, poor guy. All right, Paul White, congratulations. Please don't get dropped again.
This next category is very important. It's about keeping announcers from feuding with each other. And I thought the perfect wrestler for this, the perfect person, would be a man who once bullied Michael Cole, and that is John Cena. And that's why we got John Cena here representing the no fighty for announcers award. Rich Riz. Let's get those nominees out there.
That's right. And just to clarify, this year we have expanded it to announcers feuding with anyone. We've
Oh.
expanded this category a little bit because things can happen. For instance, Pat McAfee can wrestle too, right? So
Yeah.
last year we did not have a nominee. Our last winner was 2019 Corey Graves versus Renee Young. We remember that from Raw.
Yeah, it's very cringe and catfighty, like two siblings,
Mhm. Yep. So this year the nominees are Corey Graves versus Pat McAfee, Booker T versus Coherence, Tony Schiavone versus anyone but Sting, Taz versus his digressions, and I think this actually would be the one to really rival Graves versus McAfee, Nigel McGuinness versus Bryan Danielson.
I like that one though.
Mm.
I like when
So
he just shits on him like
it
all
is.
day.
So it's kind of an interesting thing. Like the only thing is with Nigel, we know there can't be a payoff there. We can get Graves versus McAfee.
Do we want that though?
I want to see Graves in the ring again, and McAfee's always entertaining in the ring.
Yeah, I will never care about Corey Graves outside of like I like him on like After the Bell. He's decent there.
Did you see that? I don't remember what it was. It was a network special where they were following a number of NXT superstars and their journeys and everything. And
Yeah, he's
Graves,
got a sad story. I know
right?
Graves and his family and stuff like that. That stuff was in there for his, right?
Yeah, and yeah. For anyone that didn't see it, I don't remember the name of it. Do you remember? If you remember the name of it, I'm sure you would have said it. But
NXT, I don't know.
there you go. And Graves had gotten the news that he couldn't wrestle anymore, but like right on the spot, Triple H was like, "Listen, if we think we might have a spot for you if you want to try out announcing, boom." And look where he is now. He's not only announcing, he's a staple, and he has a podcast that is on the network, which we can get on the network as well. Basementbookers@gmail.com. Put us up,
Yeah, we
guys.
don't always have to curse.
Yeah,
We
mhm,
can say whatever is cool.
yeah. We can
Rich
we
would
can
love to
re-enable
work with,
our
yeah,
push to mute buttons.
he could work with CM Punk. It's fine. He'll do it. He's actually our guy on the street. So anybody wants to talk, any um women's divisions needs more, interview time from someone who'll make them look tall. This is the guy for that. So just let you know.
That's right, Jer. Back
See,
to you.
he's told you. Look at that. Look at him. So, what do you think, buddy? I've always, I think this is you here.
Yeah, so I feel like this is an award of like we don't want the announcers to feud with whomever. Um,
So you don't want Booker T to feud with Coherence. You want him
right,
to
I want him to
bless.
be coherent.
Right.
So these are things we don't want to see. I like Nigel vs. Danielson; it's entertaining. I like Graves versus McAfee because they are both entertaining. But Graves versus McAfee, we can get a payoff. We unfortunately can't get a payoff of Nigel versus Bryan Danielson. So to me, that makes that the winner. Taz is never gonna be able to fight his digressions. Shivani's never gonna fight anyone. So I think it has to be Nigel versus Brander Dander.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it just reminds me of like whenever I'm a hater, like
Mhm.
that one person that just gets on my nerves, when I just be having a conversation. It's like, yeah, this blah 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 is getting out of blah blah blah, and then
Mhm.
all of a sudden I'm like, I can't fucking stand that son of a bitch,
Yeah.
etc. Fuck
Y-
them.
And you know what? I had a thought because I didn't watch Ring of Honor, but if this is a feud that actually dates to when Nigel was wrestling in Ring of Honor, please let us know down below. Let me know. I'll try and find it. Look up some of their promos.
I mean, the closest thing to that is like Don Callis and how much he hates Chris Jericho. Well, this category is custom fit, custom made, stolen from the Miz, by me. And this is the Miz Participation Award. At least you tried. This is for people who, they tried and they did that. And, we already got ours, but this is for them. Rich?
That's right. Last year's winner was Hangman Adam Page. So, with that being said, this year's nominees are CM Punk, speaking of Hangman Page, Roxy, of course, Roxanne Perez. I just always put it in as Roxy. Tony Khan, Raquel Rodriguez, Hangman Page again, Chris Statlander, Jack Perry, and Nick Wayne. If you have any other nominees, let me know. Write them in.
Those are all, they're all good. And I can't give it to Nick Wayne.
Mm,
Um, I think, and this makes me sad because I don't ever want to. I always want to see certain people succeed,
hmm
and I just feel like she tried. Raquel, Rodriguez, Gonzalez, whatever.
hmm
Um, she tried, and it's just there's just nothing going on, man. Like you could flex your back, but so much, guys. Like help her out. Like get her something else here.
Yeah. So I agree. And what she needs is not something that she herself can provide. They have to give her. They need to turn her heel. The problem is they have their monsters already. So
Yeah,
they
it's
need
maybe like
someone
mhm.
they need someone of a uh an imposing physique to counter the Nia Jaxes and the Rhea Ripleys, and Raquel Rodriguez is the one right now. While Piper Niven is still a heel. I don't know what's happening with her and Chelsea. I guess we'll find out in the coming after the new year. But
Day one tomorrow, Monday
mm,
night.
yep, day one ish, Monday
Hmm.
night on Raw.
Yeah.
So yeah, Raquel, she needs a heel turn. That's what she needs. She needs to stop the smiling, just come in, toss people, bounce. But I unfortunately, like I said, don't think that will happen as long as there are no other faces of her stature.
As long as Rhea Ripley is a heel and on the same show, she
hmm
will not grow. I think she got to go to SmackDown, and I think you give her a fresh thing over there, fresh coat of paint, just wrecking people.
Yeah,
Just
down.
mean, just full of mean,
hmm
something like there's a meanness in there. It's just like something's not connecting in the baby face level. Like as long as you're there with Rhea, she's just gonna dominate you. It's just not
hmm
gonna work.
Next up, we have the $1 million Man Dick Move of the Year award. Last year's winner was Rhea Ripley's concerto to Beth Phoenix. We all remember that spot. This year's nominees are CM Punk's AEW locker room issues, Jack Perry causing CM Punk's last AEW locker room tantrum, and CM Punk's return to WWE. Do you have any other nominees to add before we give an award to Punk again?
No, go ahead.
All right. So Dick Move of the Year. I feel like it all stems from Punk's AEW locker room issues. I don't think Jack Perry was the cause because the one common denominator with CM Punk's AEW locker room issues, besides AEW, is CM Punk. So it's got to go to Punk's AEW locker room issues. Congrats, Punk. You're a cancer. Here's your golden pencil. You know where to put it.
I think the Young Bucks had a lot to do with that too. They seem very immature.
Well, they are young, allegedly.
We're alive! We're Basement Bookers Podcast Pencils. Here he is. I'm Vince McMahon with the Booker of the Year Award. And the nominees are Triple H, Triple H, Triple H, Triple H, and Triple H.
All right, seriously though, who are the nominees, Rich? That's your job.
So first, last year's winner was Triple H. This year's nominees are Triple H and Tony Khan. And
Oh, I put extra.
it's okay. And the winner is Triple H because if you
He's-
watch both shows, you know the winner is Triple H and you know why.
If you smell what the who knew?
All right.
After all these years, it would be us smelling what Triple H is cooking.
Is that sausages on the DX barbecue grill?
No, man, God damn it. You always do this to me. I gotta explain it. You know how they're always like, let him cook, and he's cooking, and The Rock and him, they'd always feud, and The Rock would be like, oh, you smell what The Rock is cooking, and Triple H is like, oh, the game, you'll play the game. But now, and he's the one with his big nose who have to smell what The Rock is cooking. But now we want to smell what Triple H is cooking. We love what Triple H is cooking.
Except Punk.
That remains to be seen. We don't know what's going on there. So let's get on to the next category, right? Well, Rich, I have to say that we were missing something in the last category. There was another nominee for Booker of the Year. Booker of the Year is one man that I nominate, and that is
Everybody, oh my God, Rich Perez, he's got to be Booker of the Year. I can't believe it. Oh my goodness gracious.
I guess it's me.
yeah. Yes.
Wow.
Yes, it's you, buddy. So congratulations.
Thank you, dude. I really appreciate it. Like I wasn't expecting this. I know I had a little bit of a run with the with the basement championship,
Yep.
and I guessed better than you a couple of times, and then I got beat, and that happens, and I haven't picked it back up yet. But it's it's you. I couldn't have done this without you. You're the brains behind this podcast, which
No, listen, no. Shut the fuck up. Steady on. All right. No, you listen to me. Can you hear me? You
Yes.
listen to me.
I can hear you.
First of all,
Mm.
you were nominated. You didn't win.
Oh.
Triple H won. Okay.
Oh.
I don't get nominated because I nominated you.
Okay.
You don't get to nominate me because this is me being nice. You don't get to be nice. I'm the man. I'm the nice man. You're nominated for Booker of the Year.
Thank you.
You.
Well, okay. Well, if I can't nominate you, let me at least tell you publicly you are my.
Oh my God. He brought it back. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get back to business. That's the tomfoolery and chicanery we
All
get
right.
over here. I put you over
Thank you, bro.
literally, physically,
Mm-hmm.
just now. So
Mhm.
let's go with the Basement Bookers podcast. Fitz McMahon, or soon to be the Rich Riz, make this guy look really good award for excellence. I
That's
guess.
right. This is the Superstar of the Year. This is the golden pencil that every superstar or professional wrestler, male and female, wants to win every year. This is the big one. The nominees. First, last year, of course, was won by Roman Reigns. Before that, we had Becky Lynch 2 years in a row. Before that, we had AJ Styles 2 years in a row. So this is a big category. The nominees this year are Roman Reigns, MJF, John Moxley, Seth freaking Rollins, Christian Cage, Edge / Adam Copeland. We can sort of combine his career there. Tony Storm, Carmelo Hayes, and L.A. Knight. Yeah. Do you think we need to add anyone to this list before we convene?
I don't think so. Because that's already too many people.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of people. I hate this. Only one person in this category has a championship made for them. Like a real championship.
Hmm.
Something that's actually being treated like a championship. There's a Seth Rollins, please don't go championship. He has yet to be pinned or submitted in singles competition since becoming the champion.
It's true.
He's also a regular guy.
Hmm.
You know, the tribal chief is not that. He's not even a man. He's a tribal chief. So, like, for a
Right.
regular man, I mean, the guy went like, all right, what says make this guy look really good more than your back is broken and you have a last man standing match. You show up the next day on Monday Night Raw like nothing happened and get physical.
Crazy.
Like, ah, and he's got a championship made for him,
Yeah.
you know?
The
And
Seth Rollins Please Don't Go championship.
I mean, look, Cody looked really good. He also looked really good.
Yeah. But he's not here.
That's right. He's not here. So it's got to be Seth Rollins. I mean, look, I love Tony Storm too, but like all year or most of the year, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Why are we even talking about this?
I will
And
accept
I
that
hate it.
here.
Yeah. I
Like
hate it.
Seth has just been on top all year. I mean, we know he's no Eddie Kingston, right? But
No, no one is.
no one is.
Oh,
But I
that's
mean,
the point.
Roman, our tribal chief, all due respect, but gotta come to work a little more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, maybe look, yeah. I mean, look, given the option, we wouldn't. I would take the same schedule as Roman. Sorry.
I think Roman proves really we all want to work from home.
Exactly. Exactly. And
I-
when you do show up, it's like a big deal. That's like a
Mhm.
dream.
Yeah.
Like, imagine it's like you're always the cool guy at the party,
Mhm.
and the party is like thousands of people also watching at home.
Dope.
And sometimes you got to beat up a guy.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you could just walk in, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you could be on a screen, and that's it. So,
They wrote Seth Rollins with a broken back to win a last man standing match.
yeah. And show up the next day like nothing happened.
That is the shiniest of shines.
That's right, Rich Perez. That's right.
Seth,
Now, yep.
congratulations. Well deserved for Triple H strapping the entire company on your back, except for, the SmackDown headline stuff.
Well, when you're the head booker's golden boy, life is good.
That's right. It's a good award show, bro. What do you think?
I think it's great. I think it's time for us to transition into the big heads. Well, Rich, that was a great rewards we just did there in this smooth transition to the end of the Basement Bookers podcast episode we happen to be in the middle of. That was done all in one time.
Mm-hmm. That's right. I love these award shows. Like all these letters and gifts from all the nominees. They appreciate it, and we love doing it. We love handing out these well-deserved awards to CM Punk to stop doing things and to Sting to retire. Well, not in this case, but it's coming up. Anyway,
Yeah, bribes are unnecessary but welcome. But
right.
yeah, so
As are sponsorships, baseballbookers@gmail.com. And speaking of baseballbookers@gmail.com, that is our email address. You can hit us up. Tell us your thoughts on the bookies. What other awards you think we should include next time? Did we overlook someone for a nomination? Let us know. Also hit up our socials. The socials down below. The link trees down below. You know what to do. The bell, the thing, the that, and Jared's got a party message.
The match of life is scheduled for one fall, so make it count.
And do what the man says.
Follow
the bookers, like and subscribe. Thank you for checking out the bookies. Shout out to Manny. Shout out to the Basement Bookerverse. Shout out to all the people. Rich,
Tony
you got
Mama
somebody?
Luke.
Okay, that's the guy who wants to shout out. All right, good.
That's right,
Yeah.
partner.